Oh my goodness.
Hey Best Pally, I'm Allie, and I want to get superhuman lungs. This video is my attempt to improve my lung power through a bunch of different techniques, and to prove if I truly transform, I have 5 different tests for before and after. Science! First, we're going to test my VC, or vital capacity, which is the total amount of air that you can put out of your lungs after full inhalation. And to test this, we're going to put together this very advanced piece of technology. Shout out to Alex Dennis for showing me this on her Instagram. By the way, this water expired in 2020. It's been at my studio for quite a while, so I don't feel bad about using it for this type of science. I'm using a drinking hat for this because I weirdly didn't have any flexible tubing laying around. I mean, I did, but it's a drinking hat. Okay, so the idea is I flip this over into there and then breathe out as much as I can, and we'll see how much it was. Quick flip. Okay, that's my limit. And that's my VC, which is 80% of your total lung capacity. Some stays inside you. Mark where we are on our sophisticated device. The water line stops right here. Now from there to there shows how massive my lungs are right now, and let's see if I can get that line to move up when I test at the end of this video. Now the next 2 tests will be slightly more sophisticated. This device is going to give me my PEF, which is a measure of the fastest rate I can force air out of me. And then it will also say my FEVF, which is the most air I can get out in 1 second. As I set this up, it gave me an expected PEF value of 398 based on my genetics or whatever. So let's see if I can beat its prediction. Prepare, sit straight up, take a deep breath with your mouth completely. Start, blow as fast as you can, wait for 2 beeps. Okay. Why am I nervous? That was a very short amount of time. I feel weak. Ooh, 447. That is higher than the prediction. Although that does set me up for it being difficult to make a transformation in this video. Whatever, I still think that I can make my lungs better, and I want to find out. And also, I want a second chance. 508. Wow, I feel superhuman, actually. Maybe his prediction is wrong. Do they know that I'm 40? Okay, take 3. This will be our for sure baseline that I need to improve. 506. Okay, so can I get better from there? Also, the FEV1 is 2.25. I don't know what to compare that to. They didn't give me a prediction. But we do know where we're starting, which is huge because you cannot improve what you don't track. Oh, now when I imported my data to the app, it's giving me a reading on the graph, and I'm in the green, but wow, look, the graph goes all the way up to 999. So I have room to improve for sure. And for the 4th test, how long can I hold my breath? Which I'm sure it's pretty pathetic. Also, I'm nervous again. Go! Okay. 116. And the final test will be even less tech and less science and more subjective. Right now, I am miserable doing intense cardio. So on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being feeling very powerful when respiratorily challenged, I am currently a 1. Cardio sucks, and it sucks pretty much immediately when I start it. I can't even lift heavy for more than 3 reps without getting winded. And that's not even cardio, that's how bad my lungs are. So let's see if I can feel less miserable using them by the end of this video. My first tactic to increase my lung power is doing high intensity interval training, getting my heart rate and therefore respiration up, then recover, then way back up again. My second tactic to potentially improve my lung capacity is that anytime I'm doing cardio, I'm wearing my boxing mouth guard. This makes it hard to breathe through my mouth, so I'm forcing myself to breathe through my nose. The reason I desperately want to increase my lung capacity and lung power is because if you haven't already heard me talk about it a ton, I'm boxing in Creator Clash 3. If I have bigger lungs, I think it will help me perform better in the boxing ring. You know, there's a type of breath work that's supposed to calm you down, but of course I'm not doing that. I'm working on my breath in a way that is extremely challenging and stressful. I'm not exactly a relaxed person. You may have seen in the past that I've had high cortisol readings. Cortisol is your fight or flight hormone, and I am very much in fighting and flighting. But I wouldn't know it because really, I don't feel stressed. I just feel energized and pretty darn good. So if I hadn't tested, I wouldn't have known that I'm pushing my body too much, and that is why it's super important to test, and super awesome that my sponsor, LabCorp On Demand, offers 80 different lab tests that you can purchase directly on your own without a doctor's appointment. You can go to trylco.com/fitnessoutrageous to purchase a test and then make an appointment, or walk into one of LabCorp's 2,000 plus patient service centers for a sample collection. Your sample will be collected by the same method as your doctor's office, so no need to prick your finger, although you've definitely seen me do that a lot. Testing is performed at Lab LabCorp's CAP-accredited, CLIA-certified clinical laboratories that typically process 3 million samples every week. You can even wait in your car or outside until the lab technician is ready to see you. You'll be notified via email when your results are ready as early as the next day, and you'll be able to view your easy-to-read results online in your LabCorp patient account. And for results that require prompt attention, you'll be contacted by phone or mail. Now, back to talking about me. I usually eat really close to bed, which is not great, and I want to know if not doing that just in one night can improve my cortisol reading. So last night I fasted for 5 hours before going to bed, and this morning I got a cortisol test with LabCorp on demand. The results are in. My previous reading was 47.0, and after changing my diet to eating earlier, my results are 40.2, which is still high. So it turns out you can't fix high cortisol in just one night. Imagine that. So I'm already learning a lot from LabCorp On Demand. I need to focus more on overall stress reduction techniques. Yes, continuing my balanced diet earlier in the day, but also making sure I'm getting enough sleep and at the right times. And also alcohol might be a factor, so maybe a slightly less beer miles. So it was great to test and get more recommendations, and it is awesome that I can now do a longer term experiment and again, purchase a test with LabCorp On Demand to keep tracking, because data is way cooler than guessing. Get the insights you need to live a healthier life. Go to trylco.com/fitnessoutrageous and use code fitnessoutrageous to get 20% off your lab test. And now back to my butt-kicking breathing. Yeah, my custom mouth guard. I'm so pumped to switch. How do I feel? Whoa. That's crazy. There's a huge gap here that I can breathe out of. Oh my goodness, wow. Yeah, that's gonna make a big difference. This was forcing me to breathe out of my nose, but now I can, I guess, optimize for performance because breathing out of my mouth is so easy. I was thinking that forcing myself to breathe out of my nose over time would increase my lung capacity, but being able to breathe out of my mouth in the moment is gonna help my performance in the ring. And so I'm kind of going back and forth about this. Do I want to perform at my peak when I'm training, or do I want to work on my lung capacity so that it's stronger when I need to perform at my peak in the boxing match? With my old mouth guard, the fastest time I finished this workout was 9 minutes and 10 seconds. With my new mouth guard, I just finished in 8:24. Confirmed, breathing through your mouth when you really want to push your body is useful. I need to switch to my next tactic because I'm realizing I need to train cardio as hard as I can to be the best boxer I can and see what that does to my lungs, and then see if I can separately train the size of my lungs, lung gains. Though I'm still going to actively breathe out of my nose on my easy runs. Enter the Relaxator. I learned about this from Ben Greenfield. Supposedly it strengthens your diaphragm and helps you with low, slow, efficient breathing. I love efficiency. Elegant unboxing. There we go. They suggest 15 minutes a day, but there's no limit on how much you can use it, which is very dangerous for me. If you saw my handstand video, where I ended up going from training 5 minutes a day to 45 minutes a day. Oh, it's also jewelry, isn't that cool? You can wear that to the club. So for this video, I'm going to commit to, aka limit myself to 15 minutes a day and see what happens when I stick to specifically that. Got this dial, 5 levels of resistance that opens this hole on the other side. We'll start with 1, but you know I'll go overboard and break it to make it a 10 somehow. And then you just breathe in through your nose and out through the thing. Okay, am I superhuman yet? 3 is my current sweet spot, and it will be interesting to see if I end up moving up. I may have gone over 15 minutes a little bit, but it's because I was enjoying it. But also when I stopped, I'm enjoying now going back to normal breathing, feeling calm, a little bit lightheaded. But this does feel like exactly what I should be doing instead of hyperventilating at emails. Ben Greenfield does claim that restricted breathing, which is the Relaxator, causes increased ventilatory capacity, which is lung size, just said fancy. But on the Relaxator website, they only claim that it improves your CO2 tolerance, which is a completely different thing from lung capacity or lung size or even VO2 max. So it's something I was only vaguely familiar with at the beginning of this video. Now we're introducing it midway through. Trust me on this. It turns out increasing your CO2 tolerance will make you perform better. It will make you be less stressed because you can breathe more steadily. It will boost your mental performance. If you can get your body to put up with more CO2, it generally seems awesome. I'm not sure if it's actually possible to increase your lung capacity or if athletes are just increasing their ability to tolerate CO2 and taking in the same amount of air. And I've heard both sides of it. Some people say, oh yeah, cardio just makes you more efficient, but not not lungs bigger. And then some people say, well, things like swimming or nose breathing when you do cardio will actually increase the size of your lungs, maybe. So I'm adding a bonus 6th test to this video to see what my CO2 tolerance is right now and if it increases. So now we will know if I increase my lung capacity or my lung power or my CO2 tolerance or any combination of the three, which I hope it is all of them because I have to get in the boxing ring. Okay, the test is breathe normally 3 times. On the 4th inhale, exhale as slowly as possible through your nose and time yourself. And that sounds easy. Supposedly 80 seconds of breathing out is elite, and which I'm obviously going to get right now. The average person will only be able to breathe out for 20 to 40 seconds. Under 20 is really bad. I feel like you're just breathing slowly, except that this is probably one of those sneaky tests where I'm about to embarrass myself. Okay, let's do this. "42 seconds. Ugh. Despite the distraction, I am at the very bottom of intermediate, 40 to 60 seconds. There's no way I was gonna get past 60. So that means I have lots of room to improve. I'm moving up to 4 this time. Let's see how that feels. Significantly harder, but also it feels like I'm getting more tolerant. I'm gonna stick with 4, see how this goes. Just got a comment that says, "You are the most boring YouTuber I've come across." How do I be more interesting? Good thing this is keeping me calm. I've been using the relaxator for over a week now, and I love this little thing. Oh my goodness, I had no idea. I mean, I thought I'd have to force myself to do it, and I still kind of do, but when I'm using it, it's awesome, and I've realized that when I'm writing a stressful email, I just stop breathing. Like, I will hold my breath and type, and it's really nice to be reminded to keep breathing, stay alive, eh? We'll see if it's actually doing anything, but it feels like it's not only increasing my CO2 tolerance, but also making me less stressed. So yeah, I'm really loving it. Oh my goodness, I'm adding another test to this video. So it turns out holding your breath is not a good measure of your CO2 tolerance and fitness because it has willpower involved, and we all know that I'm very willpowered. And actually a better thing to measure and try to improve is your BOLT score, which is how long after holding your breath do you involuntarily want to take in air. So you would start to feel either your lungs want to pull in or your throat close up or you want to swallow. And that is the cutoff versus how long you can just think yourself into not passing out. Let's find out my BOLT score. If it is under 10 seconds, that's really bad. If it's 20 to 30 seconds, that's pretty normal for someone who works out with a moderate intensity regularly, but what it should be is 40. That's good for a normal, healthy adult. And I have a feeling I'm not going to be seen as normal. When you have a low BOLT score, it means you have a lot of air hunger and that you're breathing a lot throughout the day when you're not working out, which then makes you breathe a ton more when you're working out and makes you really inefficient. So I've even heard, I'm taking a heavy breath when I'm talking about this. That's another thing. I notice myself sighing all the time while I'm filming, while I'm working on a sculpture, and I thought that was a good thing. Oh, I'm calming myself down. I'm getting more oxygen. But it turns out that's something called overbreathing. I don't need more oxygen when I'm just sitting here filming. I need it later when I'm working out. So if my body gets used to overbreathing now, it's gonna overbreathe when I work out. And I know that I sigh so freaking much. And this book that I'm reading, Oxygen Advantage, talks about how maybe you notice it. Oh, I notice it a whole lot. And that's why I think this score is gonna suck and that I'm really hindering myself in my performance. And they even say in the book that some elite athletes even have a low BOLT score. So these are independent things that you can work on to improve your ability cardio-wise. It doesn't just mean that you should work out. That basically I'm saying, like, a good thing I'm doing this video because that's also important to get ready for my fight. I am putting a ton of work into boxing, but my breathing could still be holding me back. Okay, so the test. You breathe out, hold your nose, start the timer, and wait for your need to breathe reaction response. Okay. 17 seconds. So I'm already this far into this video and there is still a lot of room to improve. The next thing I'm adding into my lung diet is stopping myself from sighing. It is an automatic thing, but just like a sneeze, you can stop a sneeze, right? So if I catch myself, that's great. But also, if I don't catch myself, you can combat the fact that you brought in more oxygen and expelled more CO2 by holding your breath. You just wait 10 seconds before you breathe again and try and counteract your sigh. And I've been doing that, and it feels crazy. I feel air hunger just sitting here. This feels like exactly what I should be doing. I just unlocked something nutso that I didn't even know about that was really holding me back. I've now been living most of the day focusing on breathing lightly and not taking in more air than I need and not expelling the CO2 that I want to get used to. And it's been 2 days of knowing what air hunger is, and it feels crazy. Crazy, especially because it sounds like the opposite of everything that you hear in the health world, but I think there's something to this and could be my... I'm trying to breathe while talking to you. It could end up being a big advantage when I'm training for this fight because I can tell that I'm an overbreather, and that's something I didn't even know existed and I could be embarrassed about. This is a SpO2 measure. It'll tell me the oxygen saturation in my blood. 98, that's super normal. 95 to 100 is what most people are unless you're sick. And that doesn't need to get higher. It can't get higher. I have plenty of oxygen. I don't need to be breathing more. But I do need to get used to the CO2 because that will help me utilize the oxygen and help me dilate my blood vessels. And if I'm breathing a ton and getting rid of that oxygen, my body resets and thinks, oh no, I can't handle CO2. So then when I do work out and need more air, I will not be able to handle the CO2 buildup from the working out, and I will also breathe even more and then get more stressed out and not be able to perform because I'm sitting here huffing and puffing, just sitting on the couch. So I know it sounds crazy, but I'm going to try to sit in air hunger when I'm at rest, which is adding another tactic to this video to see if I can get used to that air hunger, get rid of it, and then perform better whenever I'm working out. I have successfully been able to notice and stop my aggressive sighing throughout the day, so now I'm no longer constantly Charlie Browning. So I'm now going to commence breath hold training to try and get rid of my constant air hunger that's still there and my body's tremendous aversion to CO2. Like when I hold my breath, I can feel my diaphragm just start spasming like crazy. And I've always known that I've had a really sucky breath hold. I thought that only meant that, oh, I'm just at extreme risk around any body of water, oh well. But now that I know that it's holding back my sports performance, well, it's time to become a stellar breath holder. I started yesterday with this easy exercise. You breathe out, hold your nose, and walk until you feel a medium air hunger. You should aim for about 60 paces. I got 30. Then rest for a minute and breathe lightly through your nose, fighting the urge to gasp like a fish on the deck of a boat. Then you do that 5 to 6 times. That is my daily breath hold workout for now. We'll see if I can increase those paces. I am optimization multitasking today because I'm also using my vagus nerve stimulator while I give myself air hunger. This video, a 30-day challenge, is already out, so go check that out after this. I'm gonna try and do my breath holds while I keep up my mom's walking pace, who's visiting this week.
Should be easy.
No, it's so hard, you don't understand. And my body freaks out. I'm so bad at this. That was 25 paces. Everything around it affects you too. I've been doing it at the gym and it's embarrassing and I look stupid. I don't want to look stupid in the boxing ring. I'll look stupid at the gym, who cares? That was even worse, 20. And the point too is to keep your breathing light afterwards, not just be gasping. Doing a lot of gasping. I'm now adding another thing to my lung training diet, breath holds while biking. This is getting crazy. I'm tracking my oxygen concentration to try to get it down for short periods of time and then recover. This is basically faking altitude training without having to go up a mountain. And yes, I'm still using the relaxator every day, although I think I was using it wrong. I was breathing heavily, forcing into it. And now I've changed to letting it guide me to an air hunger. So I want to breathe it really lightly and you barely hear me breathing into it. And I'm now up to 4.5 instead of 4, which does mean more resistance, but it doesn't feel like resistance because I'm just trying to breathe as little as possible, getting that air hunger, which is from oxygen advantage. So I'm using this about 10 minutes a day, longer if I can take it, for multiple times a day. That exercise is from Oxygen Advantage, along with the holding your nose and walking and the holding your breath on your bike. And in that book, they stress that it's super important to improve your Bolt score. And so I've been really focused on that and testing every day. They say to test when you first wake up because that's the most accurate. And I test exactly the same every day. I have not improved my Bolt score, and this book is making me feel like it's so super important. I can't believe that after 10 days I've not moved the needle at all, so it's looking like this is going to take a lot of work. Just got a PR holding my nose. 57 paces. Just wait and see when my VO2 max is through the roof and my cardio is insane and I kick that girl's butt in the ring. I've now added breath holds while running. It's like the biking altitude training, but harder and scarier because you're outside. 10 breath holds per session, and I'm now also biking outside with breath holds and still watching my SpO2 monitor to see it drop below 94%. And every day, as soon as I wake up, I test my morning Bolt score. And the past few days, I've been over 20, I think. I mean, I got to 26, and then this morning, I was back down to 18. I've been focused on other things, so I haven't done this walking exercise in a while, but now coming back to it, my breath holds aren't any longer. But I have way less gasping after the breath hold. I can feel a remarkable difference. I'm recovering after 2 to 3 breaths now, which is the goal they say in Oxygen Advantage. Just got a PR on the walking breath hold, 60 paces. What's crazy is that my SpO2 does not budge. It feels like I'm running out of oxygen and I have to take a breath, but my blood is fine. It's crazy to realize that I'm only really getting my oxygen saturation down when I'm holding my breath while working out. I am still fitting in my lung training wherever I can. This is after a 12-hour shoot day, hence the video is terrible because it is the only thing I can bring myself to pull off. I'm now even trying out simulated high altitude training, which is a whole separate video that's already on the channel.
91, very good saturation rate. So normally it has to be 98 and above, you know. You're at 10,000 feet. And you're at 91 saturation rate, meaning to say that's the amount of oxygen in your blood system. So you're pretty good, you have good cardio.
I've been doing a lot of breath hold training.
Okay, that's good.
Does that maybe have something to do with it?
Maybe. Let's test it again. Now it went down to 87, because you're talking.
Yeah. I'm finding out that my progress is not linear. I can only do 45 paces here, and I've done better in the past. It might be that I'm training too hard. I did boxing and conditioning this morning and lifting in the afternoon, so we'll use that as an excuse. My Bolt score specifically is still barely budging. That one is seeming to be the most difficult indicator to get to move at all. It has now been 12 weeks of lung training, so it is results time. We need to do the 6 tests. And as a bonus, here to humble me is trombonist Christopher Bill, who uses his lungs for a living.
You've been training for how long?
12 weeks.
And I've been training for 25 years.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see.
I can feel the power. Are you kidding me? No way! We ran out of tub! What the heck, dude?
I had so much left.
Oh my goodness. Okay, well, let's do me.
It's better than last time.
Did I break the record?
Yeah.
Pallies.
Yeah.
That is a difference in volume.
Yeah, for sure.
I did that.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Test 2. Okay, I'm going first this time, so don't make me look dumb till after. Whoa!
That's a higher number.
Yeah, it is. We got 523 and 2.34. 701! 3, 2, 1. Ah! 2 minutes! Oh my goodness. So I did not beat my score.
No.
All of my work did not help breath holds specifically. Whoa! You breathed out for longer than I held my breath. Okay, this one's the weirdest one and the one that I'm obsessed with the most.
Okay.
Called your Bolt score. Are you kidding me? 121. Mine came at 35. Which
that's
I'm
more.
so happy about. Wow, that was epic. I love that all of my progress was just completely eclipsed by you. Out of all of those tests, the one that I'm most proud of is my Bolt score. Before I started any of this, as soon as I held my breath, I would immediately feel the need to breathe. Now I can hold my breath without instant desperation. And then I want to use an analogy to try and explain this other part. Whenever you're cardio fit, you can get your heart rate down quickly after having it high. And when I feel I am respiratorily fit, after a breath hold, I can get back to regular breathing quicker. It's like my breathing has now become more resilient, which is totally not even a thing that I thought I could achieve, and yet we have achieved it by the end of this video. Now, if you remember, there's still one more test, my subjective evaluation of how bad cardio feels. And I was at a 1 out of 10, I am now at an 8. That's right, intense cardio is no longer insanely miserable, it's just slightly miserable. Plus, I am now doing sets of 15 back squats without getting out of breath. So I suggest you read Oxygen Advantage if you're interested in this, but the concept is fascinating and I do feel more powerful, so I'm going to keep lung training. If you want to subscribe and stay tuned, let me know if you want to see an update after I keep doing this, because 12 weeks is a really long time, but it turns out I want to go really longer. And all of this very much ties into the video where I tried to improve my VO2 max with crazy results. You will enjoy seeing it. I'll put that down there for you.
Keep pushing, keep pushing. Don't quit on me.
Hey Best Pally, I'm Allie, and I took the gold standard test for how cardio fit you are, and I got a grade of okay. My VO2 max in a past